Howdy folks, it's a Tall Turtle here and welcome back to X-Plane 11. We are back in the 727 200 Advanced by FlyJSim. I want to keep flying this plane more, but I don't have time to do long flight planning and flights for this thing, so we're going to do a short flight in this thing. It's only like 174 nautical miles, I think, which is really quick. We're going from Duluth, Minnesota, over to Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo is not in Minnesota, despite what people think from that TV show. Do any of you remember that TV show? I never watched it. That TV show called Fargo. Then there's a movie based on it too or something. Not sure, but Fargo is not in Minnesota. It's in North Dakota. So essentially we're flying across Minnesota westbound today. Road weather's turned on. Here in Duluth, it's a snowstorm with light winds. In Fargo, it's gorgeous, perfect, clear skies with hardly any wind at all, which means we can use one of the two ILS runways there. The flight plan is very simple. The approach should be very doable without ATC, because remember, that's the big hang up I have with this plane, is getting us self-vectored into a runway without just doing a purely visual. Of course, we could just always fly to an airport, circle to land, and land visually, but I want to try to do it based on instrument approaches, and we should be able to do that today without much issue. There's Lake Superior, just went off the screen. So anyway, I want to do more flights with certain aircraft in a row. So for example, I had mentioned previously doing like the whole 5 in a row series, where I'll do 5 flights with one plane to get used to it, then 5 with the next, but that would get kind of boring. We wouldn't see certain planes then for, if I loop around 5 times, for like 75 flights before we get back to a plane. So we're going to do, instead, we're going to compromise. I'm going to focus on a plane for 5, 6, or 7 flights, but then we'll intermix other aircraft in between, just like we did with the Ryan Navian from sea to sea, where we went 2 flights in a row or so with the Navy, and then I threw in another airplane, then I go back to the Navy a couple times, threw in a different airplane, go back to it. We're going to do that with this. So we just did a 727 flight. We're going to do another one today, and then hopefully I'll do a couple more, throw in a different airplane, do a couple more with the 727, etc., just so we can get used to the aircraft, because it gets kind of frustrating when I kind of get used to an aircraft and then I don't see it again for a long time. So that is the methodology. If you're wondering why my voice is so strange, it's because I'm flying at like 5:15 a.m. before work, because that's when I get a chance to do it. Let's screenshot that right there. We're in the Sun Country livery, as mentioned, and I told you where we're going, but you can always check the description below if you want details. So that should be it. That should be our wordy introduction. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I planned to say but didn't. I'm sure there's something that I'll think of after I recorded. Anyway, I'm moving my paperwork around, and let's, shall I say, get this party started? I don't know if it's quite a party, but I don't know. First of all, we gotta get ready for boarding. So let's get this air card on and GPU on. And let's come in here and do external power. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do next, we are going to load this airplane up. This would be better suited for the 100 because of the short distance, but I decided I'm just going to do the 200 advanced just because I want to learn to land this thing very smoothly. And until then, I don't want to mix up the 100 and 200 because I'm sure they land differently. That's a lot of people on this airplane. What I say was 174 nautical miles, so we are going to bring our fuel down to, let's double that at least. Let's do, that'd be 3 something, let's do 401 anyway. Yeah, we are good there. As far as the landing goes, I analyzed my previous videos, plural, with this airplane, and my last flight, the problem was I just came in too slowly before he touched down. I have a very, very difficult time controlling speed in this thing. I don't know why. Like I've said many times before, until this current version, and when it came out with 1.11.36ish or whatever, this was my best aircraft for flying and landing. I was super proud of it. Now, can't land with anything. It's because I go too slow on touchdown. So what I need to do is approach maybe a little fast and then just hover over the runway because this thing will stop on a dime. So I can hover over the runway and then just let it set itself down. That's what I'm going to try this time. That's my theory anyway. If we execute it that way, it's another story. So I'm going to come in a little fast, just hover over the runway, just let it set itself down. With reversers and max braking, we should not have to worry about stopping distance. Alrighty, battery on. There we go. Come over here to the APU, sorry. And we're going to trip these, get them off. Oh, they're already off in this one. I didn't realize that. Okay, previous versions, so they were on, you had to trip them. Okay, let's start this thing up. And once it's warmed up and ready to go, we'll move on to the next step. And there's temperature drop. All right, so what do we need to do here? Start APU, field and generator to close. Field and generator to close. Turn the flap light test things off. Where are you? You're on that side. Alrighty, and then external power should be off on its own, and it is. Very nice. All right, moving up here, we are going to get our wing and logo, and beacon turned on. Now we don't need to worry about interior lights because it's about 7 a.m. and bright enough. Let's go up here and do no smoking, and fasten seatbelts. Emergency lights armed, and then test this. That's our stall warning. If we hear that, it is too late already. There's no recovering from that once you hear that sound. Window heat on. APU bleed confirm on, and they are. Cooling doors confirm open, and they are. Disconnect the air cart and GPU. Nice sound effects there. DC meter to ESSTR, and it already is. Gasper fan on. Right, AC pack on. Air pressure set to cruise. Okay, this is gonna be a low flight, 18,000. We're not, we can get to 20,000, but then we have to come down immediately. So it's 18,000. 19 altitude is 906 feet, so we'll make it 1,000. There we go. And switch to ground, and it already is. All right, flight plan stuff. Like I said, extremely simple. We have 3 VORs. We're doing an actual flight path for most of it, but then we have to vector ourselves in. So our first thing we're going to do is we're going to leave Duluth at 112.6. And we're going to fly to 111.4. So let's go 111.4 in here so that we can see when we pick it up. And then we'll go to 110.6. And you're wondering why I do this, how we do it. Check out my 2-part Estonia video, or the previous video with this aircraft, or my slant alpha tutorial, because I'm not going to go into extreme detail this time because we just did. All right, so we're leaving Duluth 112.6. We're heading towards 111.4. This will tell us when we pick up 111.4, and then after that we're going to head to 110.6. From there we'll put in the Fargo VOR and VOR 2 or nav 2, so it'll point to it here, because the double line for nav 2, single line for nav 1, 1 line, 2 line. Let's remember that. So essentially at the end we'll point to the Fargo VOR, and then just before we get there we should pick up the ILS, and that's how we're going to vector ourselves in to runway 36, providing the weather doesn't change. I mean, our only 2 ILS options are 18 and 36. In this case, if it goes well, I do plan on letting the autopilot bring us in, just because it's been a long time since we let autopilot bring us in. We're not going to land. We're not going to auto land, although we could, but we're not going to. We're just going to see if we can get it to bring us in, because there's a sharp corner, because that Fargo VOR is just about 10 nautical miles away from the airport. So that should be enough time for the autopilot to bring us in. We'll see. If not, we'll just take over by hand. So that's how we're going to vector ourselves in. We're just going to point at the Fargo VOR, and then we'll pick up ILS along the way. Piece of cake. About time. If we had to land on runway 18, we'd have to make up an unofficial 31 nautical mile arc because there's no other way to get in there without ATC. All right, simple. Top of descent. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that until we get there. There's a flight plan. So we are leaving Duluth 112.6 at 288 degrees. I always forget this part lately. We'll go this way, 288 degrees. The Duluth VOR is kind of southwest-ish of the airport. So whichever runway we use to take off, we're going to head west until we pick it up. Piece of cake. That is the quickest flight plan segment of the video we've ever done. Okay, where are we? Flight plan stuff. Autopilot altitude. We're just gonna go. Not that one. This one. 18,000 feet. 18,000. There we go. Simple enough. Altimeter barometer. Yes. Do we have ATIS? I'm sure we have ATIS. It's Duluth. It's a major airport. Let's see. Click on it. ATIS 124.1. 124.1. And what does it say to do? There we go. Hotel 250 at 8. That's fine. Snow. Altimeter 3003. 3003. I can barely see that. Where's your barometer? 3003. Runway 27, of course. That would make sense. So we're not going to see the lake. We're not going to depart over the lake. That's okay. Sometimes that's just real life. Whenever you want to see something from the plane and you don't get to, that's what VFR flights are for. But when we do this jet stuff, we just follow as closely as we can. So we're not going to like take off 27, circle around the lake. No, we're just going to leave. So there we go. Rear stairs, nope, because we're at a jetway today. Turn on the 8 fuel pumps over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Turn off the AC packs. Everybody hold your breath. Bleed valves open, all confirm. That's correct. And start the engines. Oh, start pushback first and then the engines. Okay, here we go. What do you want to do? How's the airport laid out? I have this memorized, but I just want to show you. So we're going to push back to... Wow, that's weird. Can't push back that way. We're running into that guy. So we're going to push back all the way out here. There's, then we got taxi. Whoops. That's runway 9. So we got to come out all the way to runway 27. No, what am I thinking? Runway 27 is right here behind us. Why am I don't know. Maybe it's the snow. Anyway, there's runway 27 here. So we... Okay, let's reset that. There we go. So we need to go... I really want to back up this way, but we'll run into that guy. So we're going to taxi, because there's runway 27. I don't know what I was thinking. That's the military base thing. Way over there. Okay, so we're going to... How are we going to get out of here? Taxi onto this thing? Push back onto there, and then taxi to here? I guess. Okay, we'll figure this out. Let's do better pushbacks. Pre-plan. Okay, so can we... What do I do? Click, and then just come out here? My mouse won't let me go back that far. So we'll just go to here, I guess. And then we'll just go off that way. Okay, enter to accept, right?
Down to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me to the menu when you are ready.
Hey, it's a female voice this time. It must go back and forth. That's awesome. All right, let's call. Start pushback.
Down to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Awesome. All righty. We have to wait till we start getting pushed back. They'll say light them up, and then we'll start the engines. But we need to wait. Oh, they're going to drive right through that fence. That's super funny. We need to wait because there's going to be parking brake instructions and stuff. They're going to back up right through the building. That's how we roll here in Simulator Land. That's awesome. We're using free camera here so we can get a good view. Because that.
All doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Ready to connect. Okay. When is the parking brake thing? It's hard to hear when I'm outside. That AP was so loud, it's hard to hear. But we should be told soon when to do the parking brake. Alright, nice animation. Let's just hop inside and wait.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
May start engines. Alright, here we go. We're going to do 2, 3, 1. So there's 2. And then we come down here. And when N2 is 25, we introduce fuel. We're just going to wait. And then we'll check pushback too, because that's fun. So there is 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, and 5. There we go. And that should go. Let's look out the window. Is this going to work? Looks like it. So far, so good. Yeah, there we go. We're not going to run into anything. Excellent. Very happy with that. Okay. All right, we're stable at 56, and the pressure light went out, so let's go up and do engine number 3, like so. And look out the window because we can. Hop down here. Wait for 25 on N2. There's 22, 4, and 5. And then let that stabilize and everything. Push back, still going okay. We haven't run into anything yet. Well, looks like that's it. And engine 3 stabilized. Let's do number 1.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
All right, come down here and set the parking brake. And come back up here. And
Stand by.
okay. And we will wait for engine spool up. And there's 22, 4, and 5. And now we'll just wait for disconnect and hand signals from the tow. All right, there it is. Disconnect, hand signals. And did we get put in a good spot? Actually, I want to see. We did get put in a good spot. Good. Perfect spot, actually. Good enough. We could have gone back further, but given I couldn't get that mouse to go back further, that's as good as we could get. So.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
Okay, bye-bye. Don't go do donuts in your little cart thing, even though that'd be super funny. That'd be super funny. Alrighty, continuing with our startup. Hydraulic A and B on. A is already on in this version. B is now on. Close 3 generator ties. And galley power on. Both AC packs on. Cargo heat to normal. Essential power is to generator. I forget that sometimes. Essential power generator. The EC meter's bus tie, and it is. Make sure there are no lights illuminated. It's kind of hard to see. This duct overheat's a bug. Otherwise, everything looks fine there. Alrighty, fuel heat off should already be off, and it is in this version. Alright, back to the overhead panel. Anti-ice, not gonna worry about it. I have to learn how to use it. Probe heaters, though, we can do that. Trip the APU. Trip, and turn off. And listen for that wind down. It scares me every time. There it is. But we're still up and running. Pressure switch to flight. Cabin pressure temp. Oh, let's warm it up. Whoa, hang on. Don't get too carried. Come on, mouse wheel. Don't get too carried away. I'm here. Let's just warm it up a little bit. Oh, come on. Really? Am I going to spend 5 minutes warming this up? Can I spin it? There we go. Alrighty. Gasper fan off. APU bleed closed. Check reference into airspeed bugs. Okay. So, V-card. Take off. Set bugs. Flaps 20. Yeah, 113. So that's the flag there. Flaps 20. Can I see from here? Whoa, no, we can't. Have to go over here. Flaps 20 is 4 o'clock on our dial. We can see from here, though. Okay. What is next? Weather TCAS thing. That's down here. Well, where is it? Come on. There it is. It's down here. It's supposed to work, although I haven't been seeing it work. Weather and stuff, but it's supposed to. There's an update just for that. All right, taxi lights on. Let's get this thing started. Taxi lights. Nav, strobe, auto brakes, rejected takeoff, and start bringing down the flaps. Again, flaps have to go all the way to 4 o'clock on the dial. And we are going to taxi out of here. Is my rudder pedal working? It is. Good. Okay. Again, my rudder pedals are amazing. It's just in the sim I have to reset them sometimes. Same thing with the previous pedals I had, so it doesn't have anything to do with my specific pedals. Just want to make that clear. Flaps keep coming down. Let's give this thing some juice, because the juice is loose. Oh man, I haven't heard that saying in 20 years or something. All right, we're going to follow the pretty turquoise lights to the end of runway 27, which is right there. So maybe we'll just taxi together. Why not? In fact, I was thinking about doing this entire flight without any cuts. You know what I decided to do because you're watching this in the future. But as I record this and haven't edited it yet, I don't know. We'll see. I might cut some things out. Alrighty, flaps still coming down. How are we doing on those flaps, by the way? We got one more to go. There we go. 20 on the dial. Good. Alrighty. Well, this thing really wants to roll away from me. Alright, so we will use the heading bug upon departure of the runway, probably. And then we will see where that puts us in line with the VOR. Alrighty, so let's slow down here a second. Come on. And while we're trying to turn, let's see if I can get these landing lights on. There we go. And then we'll do the rest of this once we're on the runway. We will use autopilot right off the runway this time because of the weather. Sometimes I'll hand fly for a while, but most of the time I just do autopilot right away. Like most of the time you do in commercial jets, again, depending on the company you work for. I know someone who used autopilot only when absolutely required, and he preferred, and I don't know if he still does, but at the time he preferred, okay, that's funny, we're running over these lights. He preferred to hand fly as much as possible, especially in busy airspace where you're getting constant new directions from ATC. He said it just autopilot just couldn't keep up. I don't know if he does that now, though. He's doing some calmer flights now, but we'll see. I should ask him again how often he uses autopilot. Anyway, we, though, will use autopilot as soon as we're in the air. All right, so here we go. Lined up runway 27 as instructed. This thing is not stopping. Stop. Thank you. Okay, what are we going to do now? End of runway. Confirm flaps. Yes, 20. Landing lights on. They are. Check the flaps and trim, which is the green band here. We're going to set the heading bug to runway heading in case autopilot screws up. Otherwise, basically, we're leaving the VOR at 288 degrees. So we'll probably just fly straight. Actually, it's already picking up, isn't it? Right there. See? And the VOR is right there. Probably right there. So as soon as we take off, we're going to intercept this really quickly. So we might just engage nav lock immediately. We'll see. Otherwise, taking off, note the time on the clock. It is 7:20 and 30 seconds. 97% for rollout throttle. And we'll climb at 280 knots. Of course, we can only climb at 250 until we hit 10 grand. So let's set that to 250. Okay, we're set. Parking brake off. Spool these up gently. Feet on the rudder pedals. We only need them for taxiing, really, and takeoff and crosswind landings, because otherwise it rudders itself. In fact, talking to real-life pilots, you never dare touch the rudders. Generalizing, you never touch the rudders in a jet once you're going. He said that's how people get in big accidents and die. All right, here we go. 97%. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. Come on, back it up. See that? Barely used any runway at all. We kind of drifted to the left, but we're taking off all on its own. Very little effort. Positive rate. Gear up. Get those flaps coming in. Bringing back the throttles this time. Sometimes I keep them goosed, but then we do like 800 miles an hour. Come on. Keep that speed coming up. And let's not turn. There's a big glare. I can't tell where we are. There we go. Come down here. Engage autopilot, alt select, where are you, alt select, nav lock, IS hold, and we should be good. We should be good. Bring back throttles a little bit for right now. Oh, it is going to S-curve us towards that VOR, isn't it? You goofball. That's okay. I should have just kept heading, runway heading until we intercepted the VOR, because now we're going to S-curve. That's fine, whatever. Alrighty, what else? We're golden. IS hold is going to be 250. Let's bring back throttles. That's it. Hands-free flying in the clouds. Piece of cake. It's so easy when it goes right. What else do we need to do? Nothing. I'm just double checking things. We can go over here. And we're at 250. We're going to head towards that VOR. Engines are good. I can't really see that far. Let's bring them back a little bit. We don't need them that goosed. We don't even need them this high at all till 10 grand, but we're gonna. Okay. See, now it's gonna S-curve. I should have just used run. It's just should have just used runway heading. I know better, but I wanted to see what it would do. Okay, we're good. We're above the clouds already. Flaps are in. Gears locked. Let's do an after takeoff checklist. Auto brakes and come off. Like that. AC pack cutout already is on auto. Adjust cooling doors. We don't need to. It's fine. Altimeter barometer at 18,000 feet. And landing lights off at 10K. Look at this. See, we're already at 9,000 feet. Nice. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So let's just get this going here together. And there's 10 grand. So let's move up to 280 knots. Which I actually can't really tell. Where's that on this one? 50, 60, 70, 80. Yeah, good enough. There we go. The landing lights can come off as well. Oh, don't stall on me, Sim. It's updating weather or something. And we're good. So now what are we going to do? Do we have time to look outside before the next VOR? How far till the next one? 47 miles. Yeah, we got time. Okay, everything's good, right? Oil temperatures and everything looking good. None lights, but that's because we're so steep. That's fine. That's kind of high on that green. Let's just double check, make sure at 92. Yeah, we are. Okay. We're going to get to cruise altitude in like 2 seconds, but that's okay. We're just going to stay at a low 18,000 feet all the way across Minnesota. All right, good. Let's look outside. Whole bunch of clouds. Big storm brewing, or not brewing, storms are happening. Let's get that in my screenshot. Look at those storms. I love how storms are depicted in the sim. Very cool. Alrighty, you get some sightseeing already, and I'm going to catch you in a little bit here. What's my plan going to be? There are no intersections. We're going to fly right to the VOR. So when our next VOR gets to be about, I don't know, halfway through here, we'll switch to the other VOR. Just so we don't skip on the radio. So, I don't know, a couple minutes of sightseeing, and then I'll catch you for the VOR change. Very, very simple. Because we're flying exactly 18,000 feet, I'm not going to reset my barometer. We're going to keep it because we're not going above that. We're almost at cruise. Man, this goes fast. A lot happens in a short amount of time. Alrighty, I just need to watch my speed once we level off because we're going to overspeed in a hurry. You get some sightseeing, I'll catch you about 25 miles or so. Alright, as much fun as the sightseeing is, we are moving in a hurry, so we gotta get going here. And boy, that sun is reflecting off my instruments. Hard to see. Keep an eye on airspeed. We shot up there in a hurry. We're still climbing, even though I'm bringing my throttles back little by little. Gotta keep an eye on that. Oh, we're still climbing. Alrighty. What are we gonna do? We're gonna switch to the other VOR super fast because we're only 20 miles away. So if we're in an intersection, we'd have to switch direction, but it's not an intersection. So we're just going to switch to the other VOR simply. So let's do heading select, and then we're going into 111.4, and we're doing that at, oh my gosh, we're still climbing. Our speed is still coming up at 286. So there we go. Then we're going to come over here and go back to Navlock. And it should bring us over just a little bit, just a slight turn. Nothing too dramatic. Good. And let's bring back those throttles even more because we're still climbing in speed. Holy moly, we are not wasting any time, are we? Wow. Even more. Okay, checking our temperatures, which should be good. Yep, I'm talking about oil pressure and temperature. That's where you get your fires. Okay, we're still climbing in speed. Holy cow. All right, next. We're going into 111.4. Now, after that is 110.6. So let's move this to 110.6 and get ready. And then after that, it's the airport. So then here we're going to put in 116.2 and we're going to point at that. Remember, I'll show you how that works in action when we get there. That's how we know where we're going. So we're heading towards 114.4. After that is 110.6. Then after that is 116.2. And then we'll put the ILS over here. That's it. So how many miles? Only a couple. 74 miles. We are what? 3.5 miles in the air. And not quite 3.5 miles in the air, so this will not get below 2. Okay. We need to get ready for our change very quickly because look how fast we're going. This is ridiculous. We are hauling. I wonder what our ground speed is. 600 miles an hour? 500 some miles an hour? That's crazy. Okay, well, we're going to be changing VORs in any minute now. So we're flying towards this one. And then what we're going to do, okay, well, that was fast. See how fast this goes. Heading select again. Next VOR, 245 degrees, because we can pick it up so we can go right to it. So 245, like this. Like this. One more. And then let's just start going to the left to intercept this next VOR. And it's already moving. Look at this. That's already moving, and it already says lock. So let's nav over to that. And it should... Okay, it wants to go like this. Whatever. However it wants to do it is fine with me. 67 miles to 110.6, right? Yes. Okay. Next one already. 116.2 is already in there, so we can move that over. And 110.6, we'll put the ILS in here, which is 110.3. And we'll approach it 356. So this is what's going on. We just made a big turn. We're going to fly towards 110.6. After that, we're going to use these arrows to point towards a Fargo VOR while we have ILS in here. And then once it gets picked up, we'll switch over, which means on the autopilot, we'll do auto glide slope. And we'll see how it goes. We may need to intervene. But the plan is to go mostly in with autopilot just because it's been a long time since we've done it that way. Next thing we need to talk about is top of descent. Top of descent is 25 miles from 110.6. So 25 miles when the 61 gets to 25, because that's 110.6. Well, that's top of descent. We're going to come down 1,000 feet per minute. And we will adjust our horizontal speed or lateral speed for if we're getting down too soon or too slow. So let's get this set to... Actually, let's slow down. Normally we do like 320 for descent, but we're going to slow down and do 280 for descent. And then that way we can get to 250 much more easily. Wow, this is happening fast. What do we need to do next then while we're flying through the air at 1,000,000 miles an hour? We need to make sure seatbelt on. It is. We need to get our destination weather information. Not much sightseeing, is there? It's going too fast. Well, we got 30 miles to get back into things here. Not back into things, but like, back to sightseeing. But we need our destination weather. Can I get it yet? No, we can't. Alrighty, things are moving fast, but this last leg will be the calmest. The calm before the storm meaning the final approach and landing. So our speed is still good. We're just about to start coming down. We're 97 miles from the Fargo VOR, which is 10 miles southwest of the airport. So essentially we're 96 miles from the airport, more or less. We're going to keep flying towards 110.6, which is what this is telling us. This is our DME there. And then after that, it's all heading bug, because we're going to use the heading bug to fly towards the double lines. So we'll be aiming towards the double lines all the way in until we intercept ILS. That's how it's going to be. Let's start coming down. So normally we come down to like 320 knots, but we're going to hold at 280 just because we're so low. I mean, we're so low that I don't want to go that fast. And then at 10 grand, we have to slow down 250 anyway. This might be a little early for TOD, given we're going to slow down to 250. Because remember, if we slow down horizontally or laterally, we might come down too quickly vertically. But we'll see. That's kind of why I'm stalling too. So anyway, let's bring this down to, what do we want? Airport is at, let's see, what do we intercept at? So we intercept the glide slope at 2800. So let's bring this down to 2800. And then that way we'll enter the glide slope nicely. Okay. Piece of cake. I'm nervous. I feel like we're coming down way too soon, because you know how it is with me. In this plane, I come down like 40 miles too early. We're like at our glide slope intercept like 40 miles. It's so stupid because I panic. But it'd be better to be too high in the circle to land than too low and run into something. So I think I'm going to wait a couple minutes. We're 85 miles out. Well, let's actually calculate this. Yeah, let's calculate this together this time. So we're 18,000 feet. We're going to come down to 2,800. So that math is how many, if we do, so let me start. Okay, let's try this again. 18,000 feet, we need to come down at 2,800. So that is how many? It is 15,200. So let's say 15,000. We have to come down. Come down a mile per minute is 15 minutes. Let's see how fast we're going. Because that's going to slow that down. So let's do 15 seconds to look at this. So that is going to be 1 mile and 1.5. So times 4. That's 4. That's about 6 miles per minute. So 15 minutes times 6 miles per minute is 90 miles out. And we're below that, so that's TOD, except we're going to slow down, so we're okay. Makes sense? Just rewind the tape as many times as you need to. Let's start coming down. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to come down here and do our new Alt select. And Alt select, please, and IS hold. And bring out throttles just above the cutout for the sound for the spoilers. What's going to happen now is it's going to slow us down. And then once you get to 280, we're going to start coming down. And then I'll use the throttles to control our descent rate so that we're at, whoa, hang on, okay, heading bug. We just blew over a VOR because I was too busy talking about TOD. So once we slow down to 280, I'll use our throttles to control our descent rate, so that's 1,000 feet per minute. We're going to use the heading bug now to line up with that VOR. Okay, so we want to be pointing at the double lines, because that means we're pointing right at the VOR. Because again, this is where ATC would start to vector us in, but we don't have ATC. We're going to come down here now, and just to confirm, ILS is, looking at my chart, plate is 110.3, right? 110.3, 110.3, and it is at 256. What was the 356? Approach course is 356. Why am I going backwards? I guess it doesn't matter at that point. 356. 356. There's our runway direction. Boom, boom, boom. So you can see we have this sharp corner. We're going to come in like this. We have this really sharp corner. So I'm wondering if the computer is actually going to do it. Let's keep going like this to line up with that double arrows, which we have to do constant adjustments. There we go. We reached our speed at 280. We're going to start coming down now. See how fun this is? I don't know if the weather's going to clear up. As long as the winds don't change. If the winds change, we're going to have to do it all manually and do an approach like that. But that's okay. So that's it. Simple. I'm just going to keep an eye on this. Okay, we're dropping below 1,000. As soon as I'm going to introduce some throttle, little by little, to keep us at 1,000 feet per minute. Then I'll recalculate this. Whoa, see too much. Then I'll recalculate this eventually. How come IS isn't holding at 280? Hello? Interesting. That's armed and that's IS hold. I don't know. See how that goes up and down with my very, very little throttle movements. I'm having a really hard time doing that. That's why our speeds are so screwed up when we try to land. Anyway, I'm just going to let that handle itself. Okay, what do I need to worry about? 10,000 feet, we got to slow down to 250, turn landing lights on. We need to get our destination weather. Please. Still not showing up, is it? Or is it right off the thing here? Yep, here it is. Barely. Okay, let's get our destination weather together while the airplane is bobbing up and down. ATIS 124.5. I'm pretty sure we're too far away for ATIS, but let's try 124.5. 124.5. Yeah, we're too far away. But we'll keep it in there anyway. What does it say? Winds 250 at 6. Good. The same weather when we started. 3012. We will let ATIS pop in when it does. 3012. And then just make sure runway 36 is in use. That's all we need ATIS for. Okie dokie. Bring our throttle slowly till we get to 1,000 feet per minute. And keep heading bug until we point at this thing. And then we'll pick up ILS before we get here. And then we'll just do auto glide slope and it should bring us in. Okay, so what's next? 10,000 feet, landing lights, and 250. That's it. Sightseeing until then. And hopefully the ATIS tells us runway 36 in use. And I'll see you in a little bit. Oh, there's our clear skies. Outstanding. Catch you in a moment. Alright, look at that typical Midwestern scenery, but it is time to fly a plane for 11,000 feet. So let's come down to 250 for the speed limit there. That's going to make us come up. Let me bring our throttle a little bit. There we go. And let's do landing lights and stuff now because we can. And while we're up here, let's switch this to max braking because I'm a baby and I'm scared. We're also going to arm the spoilers. There we go. And what else is there to do? Just let this settle in. And 1,000 feet per minute, we're going to come in just a notch high. Well, no, we might end up on schedule. Now that we've slowed down, yeah, we'll probably end up on schedule. Alrighty, so we're going to keep the throttle so that it's at 1,000 feet per minute. So let's go a little bit more throttle here. A little bit more. So there's ATIS, and it did kick in, and the runway is opposite our runway because the weather changed just enough degrees that it favors runway 18. So what we need to do, oh, change to 3014 too. The weather totally updated. Let's change this to 3014. Now what we need to do is we need to turn and do the other runway. So what I need to do is pull up my approach chart for runway 18 and figure out what we need to do. So what we really should do is probably stop descending. So I'm going to give a little bit of throttle just so we don't descend really much at all. And I'm going to get the new approach plate, and we're going to have to do an arc. We're going to have to do an arc in order to get around the airport to get to the other runway because there's no VOR approach or anything. It would be vectored in by ATC, which we don't have, so now it just got a lot more complicated. More throttles, please. Let's stop descending. Let me pull up my other plate for runway 18. All right, so let's use heading bug right now, which we are, and let's just turn 90 degrees out. Just because we got to fix this. So what we need to do now is stop descending for a second. Now our fix is going to be at 2,500 instead of 2,800, which is fine. We need to tune in the other localizer, which is 108.9, which is fine. Our approach is going to be 176 degrees, like this. A little more, one more. Okay, so that's fine. Now the question is, how do we get to the airport from here? Keep going, heading bug. That's still 116.2. I don't care about that VOR now. The only other VOR is what? 58 miles away, so we can't use that one. So what we're gonna do, man, oh man, how are we gonna do this? We're only 4 miles from that VOR, so we're south of the VOR, which is fine. This is like gonna be a back course type thing. We need to stop descending in a minute. Our speed is okay. I don't want to slow down quite yet. Let's see here. Okay, this is what we'll do. This is obviously the ILS for the other runway, which is fine. So we're to the right of the runway, which we should be. The runway is right underneath us, see? So what was going to happen, we were all set up to make our turn right on our runway 36, which is right there, and would have been perfect. But the wind is at 250 now, which means it favors runway 18. So now we got to go around. So basically, we're just going to do a huge left traffic pattern. So let's move out of the way. And ATC would help us with that. But we don't have ATC, and the VOR to the north is too far away. So I don't want to do it visual either. I want to try to do this like, on instruments all the way in. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on this VOR. And I'm going to do kind of perpendicular here to do like across one leg. I'm going to use this. Since I don't have ATC, I'm going to use this to know where I am in relation to the runway. And we have DME here, which is 10 miles from this VOR. Okay? So we'll subtract 10, and then we know where the airport is. So this tells us we're not quite at the airport because we're fewer than 10 miles, less than 10 miles, because miles is a distance, so it's less than 10 miles. From the VOR. There we go. Now we're out of range for that. That's fine. The VOR is behind us. Let's move a little bit more to get that VOR behind us. And we're going to try to figure this out just by using instruments. Okay, what's your altitude like? We want to get down to 2,500, so let's start descending again. Spoilers are armed. Brakes are ready. Everything's ready to go. We just need to do gear and flaps now. Watch our speed, gear and flaps. Let's set our bugs. We want to do 122 plus 5 plus gusts at 30 flaps. So we come over here. 30 flaps is 5 o'clock on the dial. Plus 5 plus flaps plus my lack of ability to control speed. Let's aim for a touchdown speed almost at the second flag, which is a little fast, and we'll just let it settle down. This is an insanely long runway. So if we just aim for this and just let it settle down, we should be fine. Okay. We're flying away from the VOR at 30 degrees, which is fine. So we'll be ready to do a crosswind in a moment. In fact, we can probably start that now, or not crosswind. Downwind, so let's line up with the runway using the heading bug. There we go. And then we're going to go parallel to the runway for a while. And then once we're takeaway, so we're only 2 miles from the airport. Once we're, let me look at my chart, 4.6 miles. So once we're about 16 miles or so, because I want to give myself some room to turn, we'll turn around. Hopefully we'll pick up ILS, and we'll use the autopilot to line us up. And then we'll land. Okay, I could look out the window and do this visually, but I really want to pretend we have ATC vectoring us around. So I'm going to do it like this. Okay, do we have time to look out the window? Alright, things are still looking good. Let's slow down a little bit here and get ready, because we're going to make our crosswind in a moment. Slow down, please. Alright, so I think I mentioned this happened to me in real life on my last flight. The last time I flew a plane, we were coming in Minneapolis, and we were all perfectly lined up to land. Why am I spacing out on the runway number? Anyway, we're going to land on, is it 18 right? Anyway, whatever it is, to the southeast. Perfectly lined up. And then there must have been weather change, because all of a sudden we jumped over and did a traffic pattern. And to do a traffic pattern in a little tiny plane is one thing, but to do a traffic pattern in a jet was it was just an amazing experience. To see how low we were, really low, and we just went around, and I could see the airport, but we're super far away. It was awesome. Alrighty, once we get into 200, we'll get first set of flaps out, and then we'll start. There we go, first set of flaps, and we want to come down to about 3,000 now. So I'm going to keep an eye on that descent rate with the throttle. And then we're going to make our crosswind leg in the moment now. Jeez, I bumped the throttle and just bobs everywhere. Jeez Louise. Oh, just as I said that, we picked up ILS. So here we go. Let's turn around. We're pretty close to the airport, so we're actually going to turn all the way around, I think. And then we'll let the computer do the work. And around and around we go, keeping an eye on our descent. Autopilot will hold us at 2,500, but then we might slow down, so you gotta be careful about that. We do need to get more flaps and gear out in a hurry pretty soon here. No DME on that ILS, that's okay. Let's keep turning all the way around so we intercepted about 40 degrees. Oh, we have a glide slope. Look at that. Very nice. So let's turn around. Hopefully this is enough room. There we go. GS is ready to go. So let's arm it. Now all we need to do is flaps, gear, and manage our speed. Let's get gear up now, actually. And hopefully we're far enough away from the airport that we can line up. We're using instruments, but just for fun, the airport is out there. I hope it gave us enough room so we don't have to go missed. That'd be a big bummer. Let's actually go out more sharply until it starts to move, then we'll cut in, just because I want to make sure we have enough room for the autopilot to line us up. There's altitude. We're going to hold it there because we're below glide slope. And we'll do second set of flaps in a moment. Once we're leveled off and IS hold kicks off. And I just have to manage the throttle for the speed. Oh, I hope this works. It's comfortable in my chair. I wish I had DME. So to take away 10, that's 13 miles away, because we know the VOR is 10 miles beyond the airport. So we're 13 miles away. Hopefully that's enough. We need to intercept at 4.6. So yeah, we're good. We are good. Very exciting. All right. Has ILS hold kicked off yet? It has. So let's do second set of flaps. And keep an eye on that speed. So all I need to worry about is my speed and not going too slowly. And then once it starts to move, let's actually go further because I want that to move. And then we'll cut in because this needs to be like less than 40 degrees off in order for the computer to handle it. Next set of flaps, keeping an eye on that speed. Holy moly, next set of flaps, giving it lots of throttle now. Lots of throttle. We're flying dirty. Come on. Come on, more throttle. We need 2 more sets of flaps. Yeah, we're still slowing down. I have almost full throttle. This is crazy. Wow. We're a little early for the last set of flaps, but I'm going to do it anyway because we have plenty of fuel, and I'm scared. Alright, so let's keep that speed up. Let's keep that speed above that second flag. That second flag is basically our approach speed, and then the first flag is touchdown plus 5 plus gust, but we're going to actually touch down close to that second flag and just let it settle in on its own. Is the ILS going to move? Come on. I hope we don't get too close to the airport. 19, takeaway 10, we're 9 miles away. We want to intercept at 4.6. Alright, we're 7 miles away because remember takeaway 10 for the VOR distance. So we should intercept that ILS or intercept the runway any moment. Our speed is good. We're going to intercept hopefully farther than 4.6 out. Oh man, any moment now. Come on, come on, start moving, start moving. There it is. Boom. Let's use heading bug to help. And then the computer should take over. Oh boy, nothing got in the way. Is the computer going to take over? It's armed, but it hasn't locked on. So let's see. Let's see if it's going to lock on. Come on. Are we still on heading bug? Yeah. I think it's... Yes, it locked on. Uh-oh. Okay, it's still yellow. Why didn't it lock on? Oh, geez. Keep an eye on our speed. We're going to start descending. Okay, the glide slope is captured. There we go. We're locked on to trim blue. And there's a runway right in front of us. Report runway in sight. Everything is good. We just got to keep an eye on speed. We'll turn off autopilot in a moment. We're just going to let it bring us in a little bit here. Bring back those throttles. Oh, it's going to try to auto land for us. I don't want it to auto land. I need to practice myself. All right, let's turn off autopilot. And let's fly this plane in. Cancel that. Oh boy, it always does its own wonky thing. Now it's going over to the right. Okay, well, give me control, please. I have the aircraft. Keep an eye on that glide slope. Look at the instrument. I should be able to almost touch down just going like number 2, like this. And then just before you touch down, look out the window, but I'm not going to. So here you go. Keep an eye on that speed. Pitch down for speed, throttle so we don't descend. More throttle, more throttle, more throttle, because we're below glide slope. Come on, more throttle, more throttle. We're below glide slope. Keep an eye on that speed. We're going to land a little hot and then float. That's the plan. Very long runway. We don't have to touch down at the very beginning. In fact, when I watch planes land in Minneapolis, for example, with a similar runway, they don't go anywhere near the touchdown zone. They're way beyond the touchdown zone. Right now we're above glide slope. Throttle's back. Keep the pitch the same because our speed is good. Keep an eye on that gauge. We're a little bit to the left of the runway according to the gauge. Oh, that's touchdown speed. Pitch down for speed, throttles so we don't descend. More throttle, more throttle, more throttle. Let's go sterile. We have a little bit of crosswind from the right. I'm not terribly worried about it. Our glide slope is fine. We got a white on the pappy. Not in a hurry. Not in a hurry to land.
Flight 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
There we go. Nose wheel down gently. Reversers, auto brakes are doing their thing. We were way left of the center line, but I don't care. If you get rid of the whole center line problem, let's see, disengage brakes, flaps coming in. If you get rid of the whole center line thing out of the equation, that was an amazing landing. I just got to get to the center line. So I can land this plane again. I just gotta get used to it. All right, so stop. Holy cow. Stop. Stop. You can see us moving around. Is it the whole 6-knot crosswind acting like a hurricane again? Good grief. Okay, note the time on the clock. What is it? 8:12, so just 45 minutes or so. Landing lights or taxi. Yeah, landing lights can come off. Those can go to disarm. What is next? Auto brake and flaps in. Correct. Pressure switch from flight to ground. Done. Okay. Where are we going? I don't know this airport in real life. Man, that's a tiny taxiway. Well, we're not going over there. Yeah, we are. We're going to go to the right and then land, or then park. So let's go in our taxi view, take the parking brake off, and see how this goes. This is going to be rough. I'm curious to see how this is going to be here. Alright, I'm hoping there's a place to park up here. We're pretty close though, and we're actually going in a straight line. I'm so happy how well this is going today. I like these short flights in this plane. It keeps me very busy and just a lot of fun. But we're still going to redo that Estonia flight. I just don't know when. I need a good chunk of time for that one. Alright, is this the airport where you park here? I can't remember. There's an airport out in this area, like in northern, westernish Minnesota region, where you actually park out here. And they come get you. Let me check super fast at that parking brake. Yeah, I think we park here for the jets. How come I can't remember this? I used to know this airport so well. Yeah, we're gonna park right here. Normally I think there's lines. I'm pretty sure there are. Anyway, good enough. Let's hop inside. And let's see, shut this thing down. Taxi lights can come off, as can these. GPU and air cart, because we're not going to do APU. We're just going to have them. Actually, let's try the APU. I can never seem to get this. I always seem to have a problem where the APU doesn't connect and I lose all power. So let's try using the APU, because normally what happens is we park at a terminal, and they don't want using APU these days. So you park at a terminal, they hook up the ground cart, and then you just turn your stuff off. That's how we normally do it too. But today, since we're out here in the middle of the field, let's see if we can get APU going while we wait for the ground cart. Okay, it's running, so we do fuel and generator to close. Okay, we have a whole bunch of amps. So now over here, do we have to do anything? APU maybe? I never touched that one, and I never touched this one in this version. So if I come down here and kill the throttle, the fuel, does everything stay working? It sure looks like it. Engines are off. Lights are still on. So did I actually do this right for once? Wow, I'm impressed. Nice. Okay. So while we're sitting here waiting, let's turn off the rest of our lights, except we'll always keep the wing logo on, of course. Or the logo, I mean. And seatbelts can come off now. No smoking will stay on. Let's have them come out with the air cart and ready to go here. Let those fire up. And then we'll switch to external power. Otherwise, I think that's all we need to do here. Over here, we can flip switches all day long if we want to, but I'm not terribly worried about it. Let's go to external power now. The battery can come off because external power is on, so we still have lights, and that turns off. Good. Okay. Nice. We are good to go. APU is off, yep, because we turned the battery off, and the ground power unit is on. Very nice. Let's let the air stairs down here, and we'll let people out. Yay! Extremely successful. It was going to be super easy, but then we had a runway change, which ended up being fantastic. We did it without cheating. We did it with instruments only. And somehow it worked. We just used the Fargo VOR and added 10 miles to it is all we did. But it worked out just fine. So welcome to Fargo, North Dakota, not Fargo, Minnesota. Hopefully you enjoyed the quick flight. I'm going to plan a bunch more of these. So we're going to focus on this airplane and then throw in other airplanes, just like we previously focused on the Ryan Navian and threw in other airplanes. So that's what we're going to do. The X-plane wants to update. I don't know what it wants to update to. I'm already running 11.40, but again, you're watching this in the future. So we will see. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any flight suggestions, throw them in the description. Throw them in the comments below. A few more videos for you. Then there's probably going to be a break because of the holidays. My kids are home on break, or they're home. They're little kids, but they're on winter break for 2 weeks, and they're going to want to stay up late, and my wife is going to probably want to have a lot of movie time and family time, which is fine, which means no game time for me, which is fine. I'm just letting you know, after a few more videos, there may be a break, or maybe not. Maybe I'll sneak some things in for you. You'll find out when I find out, and I'll catch you next time.